Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and once again we're back out here in the garage for another Mean Comments of the week. I really have a lot of videos that I want to make, and I'm kind of making a list on them, like the ruling, or I guess the issue today with the FRT triggers and how there's a settlement between rare breed triggers and the federal government. And I also want to talk about a couple of other legal things, but I have been promising you that I would make a Mean Comments of the week because I've been getting a lot of them lately. And I do have to apologize ahead of time. My computer out here in the hot garage has a really loud fan in it. And so this thing sounds like a 747 that's about to take off, and I can't control that, and it kind of gets a little bit annoying from time to time. But today's video is just the Mean Comments of the week, and I know some of you guys do not like this and some of you guys do, so I'm not going to be upset if you skip this video. But if you like to hear me respond to the Mean Comments of the week, this is the one for you, because we have a lot of them and some really mean ones. You know, the one thing that I have noticed as I've gone through life, and even like in my personal life recently when it comes to my job and things, there are people in this world that for some reason do not like me. And sometimes I will admit I probably give people a reason not to like me. I know I'm not the easiest person in the world to get along with. I don't think I'm the greatest at anything. But in general, even when it comes to people that maybe we're not ever going to be friends, maybe we're never going to see eye to eye, I still do my best to smile, be kind to people, make any interaction a positive experience or a neutral to positive experience. I don't try to, bring any negativity in their life. And no matter what I do, those people don't like me. And for some reason, the people that don't like me do not like me. It's not like, some people are neutral in general about me. They just don't like me. And so I find this a lot on my YouTube channel, and I promise you, these comments do not bother me. Not at all. These just kind of roll off my shoulder, and it's not really a big deal. But I like to share them with you so you guys get to see this side of content creation. As you guys know, when it comes to my channel in general, I'm not the most charismatic. I don't make what I call commercials. I feel like a lot of gun reviewers out there make commercials for guns. And when companies do contact me about product reviews, whether they be flashlights, optics, or even firearms, the way that they want me to structure the videos, the things that they ask me to do, are very much like advertising. Can you do this? Can you take pictures of this and make this type of an advertisement for us? Can you say these things? And the answer is no. I'm going to do a review, and it's going to be a long form review that most people are probably not going to watch because they like to have all of their information spoon-fed to them in about 3 minutes, okay? And trust me, when I look at the analytics of my channel, most people click away from a video between 3 and 5 minutes. But that's to be expected because most people are getting used to YouTube Shorts or Reels on Facebook or Instagram Stories. These things that are just advertisements that are designed to be very small, short snippets. You want to get right to the action. You don't care about the people. You just want to get that information, see what it is, and move on. And I don't like to create that content. So I already know that some people are not going to like that. And excuse me, I have to cough here for just one moment. Sorry about that. All right, so let's dive right into some of these mean comments that I've gotten in the past week. And sometimes I actually think that the more mean comments I get, it means I'm doing something right. Because I don't want people just to like me. I like to interact with people that disagree with me. Unfortunately, these people cross the line and I have to ban them. I don't interact with them. But I do like it when people disagree with my ratings or opinions about firearms. And sometimes they bring up very fair and good points. And I'll even say that in the comment. I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Or thanks for making me think about it a different way. All you gotta do is be respectful about it. So here we go. The first comment of the week is just kind of a general one. I forgot which video this was on. But Hannibal Barca 2939 said, "You are the most incompetent reviewer on YouTube. Just absolute garbage tier reviews." Well, the question I would ask Hannibal is, why do you watch my reviews? You said reviews, which means you've seen multiple of them. Why do you put yourself through that? There are YouTube channels that I don't enjoy and I don't watch them. And I feel like I'm much happier because of it. So you don't have to watch my stuff, but if you don't watch my stuff, you don't have to be mean about it. And it's okay if you think I make garbage tier reviews. I don't think I make great content, but I enjoy what I do. And I never besmirch anybody or look down upon anybody that has a passion project and tries to do something creative and good with their life. It might not be something I think is worthy or enjoyable, but I respect them. And I guess in the grand scheme of life, that's all I want from people. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like what I do professionally. You don't have to like how I do it. You don't have to like my YouTube channel. You don't have to like how I structure my videos. But I hope that you respect me for the passion and the time that I put in. But this person just feels like, in my opinion, that they have to belittle me to raise themselves up. All right. The next comment is on my Diamondback DB15. And the title of this one is Sometimes You Get What You Pay For. And let me tell you, I get a lot of mean comments on this one because a lot of people that buy the Diamondback 15, which is a very cheap and affordable AR, they want to make sure that people that do reviews on their guns say it's absolutely amazing. It's just as good as a Knight's Armament. And I'm sorry, it's not going to be. But Justin Walkett 1561 said, wow, this is a very horrible review. I own one, and out of the box, I've shot 300 plus rounds, no issues. Yes, it's new, but wow, very negative and a lot of hearsay, not actual experience. Well, this person doesn't know how to use, any punctuation at all, doesn't capitalize words, misspells a lot of words. I don't know. So I don't know if I should be concerned about this person and their mental state and their ability to truly critique what I do if they can't put together a basic sentence. Now, I'm not saying they're a bad person because they can't do that, but I highly recommend if you are going to critique me, or anybody for that matter, at least spell things correctly and use correct punctuation. But let's talk about this. 300 rounds and they had no issues. Well, I'm glad that their firearm works well for them. And there are people in that review that say, hey, their DB15 works great. I don't experience the issues that you had. That's perfectly fine. But if you watch my main channel, I think you know I have a little bit more experience reviewing guns, and I've shot a lot of AR. So I think I'm able to compare and contrast them pretty well. All right. This one's on the Texas Gun Vault 2. Texas Gun Vault 2 commentary, Sig Sauer P320 issues. Who's to blame? Sig says you, and I guess I forgot to put the whole title in there, but Americanos Badacius 9292 said, wow, who would have thunk that somebody could talk for an hour on this stuff? Well, me, this guy, I can. And I feel that if you can't talk about something that you're passionate about or know enough about for an hour, you don't know anything. I mean, the most incredible conversations I've had with people, my closest friends, about whether it be guns or music or life in general, we can talk for hours because there's so much to say. And if your mind is so closed to debate and to discussion and to dialogue that you can only digest things in 30-second, 3-minute intervals, you have a huge lapse in mental processing. All right, next up we have the range report on the Car Arms CT380 single stack 380 ACP. Steve I1W4I says Muron. And I did push a little translate to English thing there, and the translation was Muron. So once again, you encounter somebody that doesn't have the same opinion you do on something, and you just call them a name. Instead of saying, hey, I disagree with you about this, or this design feature of this pistol is something that I like, and here's why I like it. Trying to have a dialogue, they just go right to the thing. They just don't want to engage. And I do feel sorry for those people, because If the whole point of watching a review is to have confirmation bias on the things that you buy, you're truly missing out. You truly are. I like to engage in people or with people that disagree with me. I like to find reviews that are negative. In fact, anytime I acquire a new firearm, I'm looking for negative reviews intentionally, because a lot of times those are the more honest people. If I watch one of those YouTube channels that's just a commercial, I'm not getting the full scope of their opinion. I'm not really getting all the information. So that's why I create the content I do, and it's why my channel is small, and I'm totally fine with it, because I want to give people good information instead of being popular. The range report on the IWI Israeli Weapons Industry Tavor X95 civilian version, 12345971114 said, "This guy is a clown." Once again, they don't qualify their statement. Now, am I a clown? Well, maybe. I am known to be a little bit obnoxious from time to time, and I can't promise you that my jokes are all that good, but instead of engaging, they just go right to the name calling. And it's okay, as I said, if you disagree with me. But once again, got to call me a name. All these people get banned, and I don't engage with them. All right, on the range reports, a Stava ZPAP M70 with the Magpul stock and UTG handguard. Cole Shaolin said, "Change your diet, not the stock. You have too much neck fat. That's why you get pinched." Once again, we're going into the whole "you're fat" comments, which I don't really think I'm that fat. Okay, could I lose some weight? Yeah, I could, okay? But I'm getting on 45, I'm middle-aged, I don't pretend that I'm some type of tactical operator. And that's the other thing that I'm fascinated by in the gun world, is all these people want to have their reviewers be these military, young, buff guys. Because, great, can they make good content or relevant content? Well, absolutely. The majority of gun owners aren't that. And that's not my audience. My audience are people that are my age, that care about guns like I do. So I want to know, as an average gun guy, if I acquire a firearm, how's it going to work for me? I don't know about you, but I don't plan to be in battle anytime soon. I don't plan to be in a firefight, to be dropped out of a helicopter or an airplane behind enemy lines. I don't plan to have my home invaded by 20 people and I have to get into an extended firefight. That's just not what I'm planning for. I don't think I'll have to be out in the mud and survive in the wilderness for 20 days. And I always joke and say, if that's the case, that's the scenario that I find myself in, well, it's been a good life and that's it, and I'm totally fine, because I've had a great life, done some awesome things, had some great experiences, and obviously ate some good food. And if my time is up, my time's up. I don't know if I want to have to live in the wilderness for 20 days on just eating bugs and get into extended firefights with people. But if that's what you train for, that's totally fine. Not my cup of tea. Next up, we have the range report on the Coonan Arms Model A 357 Magnum 1911 pistol. By the way, my computer's starting to do that 747 thing. It's starting to get real loud with the fan. It says, "It is obvious you did zero research on this firearm, but feel qualified to do a review. Your lack of knowledge is enough to make me unsubscribe." And later, apparently I forgot to screenshot the rest of it, I think. Let me double check here. Yeah, I forgot to screenshot the rest of it. But he says his Coonan 357 is accurate. So this is the other thing that fascinates me about gun owners. And I do not want to talk bad about the community in general, but I have discovered that gun owners make it really easy for anti-gunners to make fun of them, because their intellect and their reasoning and their ability to think from a different perspective is so lacking, that just because a gun works well for you doesn't mean it should work well for everybody. So I have certain firearms that I absolutely love and I shoot really well, okay? I love taking them to the range. I've had no negative experiences with them. But then I'll watch a review and somebody is having lots of issues or they can't shoot it accurately. I am smart enough to realize my hands are a certain shape. I have a certain way that I shoot. I have a certain expectation for the firearm that could be different than somebody else. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? So that's another way that I try to structure my videos, is that I give people my perspective and I try to let them know why I feel the way that I do. And I always try to give caveats. If you look at the description of all of my range reports, it says your experiences may vary, because they will. You're a different person. You're a different age. You have different medical conditions. A good example is I have rheumatoid arthritis. Early onset, not severe or anything, but I do have attacks. And having my hands in certain positions for long periods of time under like powerful recoil can hurt me. So I'm not necessarily recoil sensitive, but if I'm having a flare up, I can definitely have issues. And I will talk about that. This gun has way more recoil than this other gun. And here's why. I have this, you might not have that issue. You might have different hand strength than I do. You might be taller than me. You might weigh a different amount than I do. Your experiences and gun preferences might be different. But the people that just live life through their own lens and their own experiences without being able to walk or put themselves in the shoes of other people, I think are so short-sighted. And I do get a lot of that on my channel. So these aren't designed to be funny. I just kind of wanted to share them with you. They don't get me down. They only make me sad because I pity these people. And as I mentioned, I know that sometimes in life I have made people upset, sometimes intentionally, often not. But every day that I wake up, every day, I do my best to make the world a little bit better than it was the day before. Often I will fail. I'm a human being, and I fully admit that. I say things I shouldn't say. I have been mean to people when I shouldn't have been mean to people. But sometimes I don't do it. Actually, sometimes I try to be very positive, upbeat, and kind, and people do not want to reciprocate that. The way of life. But then I go through life, just like, for example, if I go to a restaurant and I can tell a waiter or waitress is just having a really bad day, there's no need for me to be snippy with them. You know, I might not tip them a huge amount, but I'm not going to be mean to them. I'm not going to be like, you're not treating me right. You know, I'm just going to go about my day because I don't know the battles that those other people are fighting. So why do I want to add negativity into the world? At that moment, we're just not going to get along, and that's okay. But it saddens me that so many people in the gun community have to be this way. And this is exactly why the Second Amendment will eventually fall. Why the Second Amendment will fail. Because you don't have to like the content that I create. You don't have to agree with my ratings on guns. You don't have to agree with my commentary. But hopefully we can come to the agreement that we're all on the same side. We're all here and should band together to be one community, to fight together. But when there's people like that just want to tear others down, I've said it before. When these people that live in California or New York, which I don't know if these people were, but if they are, and they say negative things about my channel, I'm like, fine, I don't care. I'm not going to fight for you. I'm glad when you lose your gun rights because you're mean to me, you're mean to other gun owners, you're an elitist. You know, I don't look down on any other type of gun owner. If you are a competitive shooter and that's all you care about is the games, hey, not my style. I'm not a competitive shooter, but I'm glad you do what you do. If you're all about the long distance rifle shooting, I'm not a long distance rifle shooter, but I'm glad you do what you do and I support you. If all you want to do is take an over-under shotgun out to go skeet shooting, I support you 100%. All I ask is those other people look at me as either an average gun guy, collector, reviewer, with the same respect that I give them. And it's sad that they can't. It's sad that they can't. Now, as I said, a lot of you guys, big fans, and I appreciate it. And I get way more positive feedback than I do negative. These are just the ones that stick out. So that's all I got for you tonight. So if you watched to the end of this Mean Comments of the Week video, The word of the day is fan. And I'm not talking about fans like you. I'm talking about fans of my computer, because listen to how loud this is. Oh my gosh, it never stops. It never turns off. And I've tried to like download apps and that just oh my gosh, it's so loud. It's not even that hot out here. It just, the computer gets so hot and the fan annoys me. So fan is the word of the day. Use that in a comment, and I know you watched to the end. And so thank you for joining me here in the garage. I promise in the next couple of days we'll have some more commentaries on gun-related things. I think the FRT video will be the next one that I make. So I guess that's all I got for you tonight. So as always, thanks for watching.